Here is the before and then after the DIY in the stairway. I hope you do enjoy today's video. To start with, as always, I source out the wood that I'm going to use for this project. I bought this wood from the same place I bought the ones that I use to do my kitchen panels and all that from. These are just moldings. Yeah, these are moldings, very cheap from Blanchfords. That's where I bought these ones from. And then I bought this meter board where I'm using to cut the angles of my wood. I've already shown how I managed to cut the wood into the height I wanted. So this angle that I mark on the wood is where I'm going to cut, and this is how it is looking. That is how I'm going to, like, the angles are going to join on my paneling. Yeah, so you're going to see here I've started putting my glue on. This is a wood glue. It dries very nicely and solid, so everything will stay in place like a professional work. Yep. So I've measured already on the wall what I want to do, and I use even pencil to draw a little bit of the angles of what I want. So I've made that first so that the whole work will be easy for me. Putting the paneling on took me about 15 minutes. Yeah, that was about 15 minutes to finish it, or putting the glue on the wood and sticking it on and putting a few bits of paste in all the corners that are left and all that. Yeah, it took me about 15 minutes, and this was one of the easiest really paneling I've done in a while. Yeah, I know I've done a few, but this is one of the easiest, seriously. And yeah, I was just deciding to make the hallway, or will I say the stairway, look different. It's just like looks bare on its own. I just wanted to do something, make it look different, really. Yeah, and give it like some kind of welcoming vibes. Yeah, so that's why I decided to do this, make the whole house look good. Yep. So as I said, just putting all this on, I'm doing the first one, and when I was cutting my angles, there was some places I did a little bit of mistakes, but you can always just go over and rectify your mistakes and all that. I even use sandpaper after all this work to sand it all down, and that place I'm using the glue to fill in is a joint that was not properly joined. If you can see properly, yeah, it wasn't properly joined there because I did not cut it there well. So when it dried off, I sand it to be very smooth to meet the wood in the other end, and the whole thing looked really good than I thought it would be. Yeah. So just using the same glue that I'm using to do the wood to fill up those spaces, and I finished the first one, going on to the second one, just using the side of the wood that I cut. As you can see, I've arranged them like going up there, so it's easier for me. I know which one to put where and which one not to put. So that's all I did all the way to the end. As I said, to make the whole work easier, first of all, you need a pencil to do your markings, where you want your angles to be, where you want everything to be, you know what I mean, draw something on the wall, or even a paper, first of all, to check how you want your panels to look like. If you want it smaller than mine, or if you want it medium or double size, whichever one is what you want on your wall, you have to take the measurements first. Measure the angles, the wood that you want to use, measure them, the curtain, everything needs to be measured, because if you don't measure this properly, on the wall and then the wood itself, you are going to end up messing up your wood or the whole of your project. It's going to end up being rubbish. Okay, so measure your angles properly and first before you start your work. So as I finish with that one too, anytime I finish with them, I use the filler the same glue to just fill up the spaces that are left, because it will still hold the wood attached anyway. And I use the same glue to seal the spaces that are left at the side, if you see what I mean. I put some of the glue there and then I use it to seal the space. In this way, when I finish the whole work and then I paint it up, you don't see any little space left between the panel and then the wall, if you get what I mean. It all becomes very smooth and just one, on its own, intact. Yes, that's what I mean. So this is how it is looking. I've finished with the paneling from the top to the down. I don't know if the way I'm holding my camera or what, it's not showing the angles properly. The way they look like a kite. Yes, that's how they look, because of the way you see the lines that I said I drew. You can see pencils drawn them. The angles on the wall look like some kind of a kite, but if you are standing and you look at it properly, all the measurements are the same. So as I finish with that, I'm taking my paint. This is the paint I'm going to use to do the work. It look a little bit like grayish, but it's not. Okay, the name of the paint is Egyptian cotton. That is from DULUX. Yeah, that's the same paint I used for my kitchen project before. So I just pour it into a little bit of a glass, and I use a little bit of water to mix it, and that was all I poured onto my tray, and I've started painting. As you can see it on the wall coming on, you can see that it's looking a little bit like the unit that is tiny there, like a bit of grayish between. But when I finish the painting and everything, and you are looking at it now, it look again as if like some kind of like a bit of a yellowish undertone. I don't know how to describe this, like a neutral. Yeah, it's a very beautiful color if you use this in a like a neutral home or like bedrooms and all that, to be really cozy and nice. Yeah, so the name is Egyptian cotton from DULUX. Okay, so I'm just using it to paint the panels, the side that I've paneled, painting all the paneled side first before I start painting the whole wall. In that way, by the time I will come down and be painting the whole wall itself, those ones will be drying up. And when I was doing this project, I opened my main door down outside. You can see the other side. When I finish, I opened the door down to let the paint dry. When I finish, that's how I managed to dry the paint off quickly to continue most of my work. Yeah, so I'm just painting all up, making sure all the angles, everything there is sealed with the paint and all, you know, soaked properly with it. And when I finished this first coat and all that, I think I did another second coat again, and even touch up again with some of the parts that are not well covered. This whole project I used my hand to paint. As you can see, I did not use a roller this time. I've used roller from the previous work, but this time I decided to use my hand to do all the work for me. As you can see, I finished the one at the top, I went back to the one in the middle, and then I'll be going down. So that is how it's looking now. And before I started my painting, please, if you are doing something like this and you are on stairs, make sure you cover the stairs with something, because if you don't cover it up and you paint, you know, paint can easily just splash everywhere and drop. You mess up your carpet. Yeah, you will mess up the carpet, especially the carpet that is new and maybe you don't plan of changing it. You're going to mess it up. So that is what I did. And when I'm painting, as you can see, the very end edge of the panel here, I use a tape that is, you can't actually see it really, it's like a bit white, or so it's, I use a tape to tape the side of it, so that when I finish the whole work and I take it off, it will be very clean and neat, and you won't see like dirty paint all running about and all that. Yeah, I think now you can see the tape I'm talking about in this side, because this side is more clearer. It's like a bit yellowish or whitish line there. Yeah, so I wanted to do a paneling at this part that I'm painting to, but then I changed my mind because I wanted to put a mirror up there. So when I put a panel there, it was going to mess up my plan of putting the mirror, because the panel is, you know, it's come out. So when I'm putting a mirror on it, it's going to be big of a problem. I can put mirror directly onto the wall, if you get what I mean. So now I've finished. That is how it's looking. And as I said, my door is open. That's why that reflection is coming out. It was very hot there, so opening the doors and all that to make the paint dry really nicely and properly. Now I've finished with that. I let it be. It's drying. I just decided to paint this part of the rail in my room going up. That is my bedroom open there. I just decided to paint this rail, I don't know, to paint it up the black, just to match everything really. I just like giving myself work and being busy, that's all. All right, so when I finished with this painting of the rail, I think it also came out really good. First of all, the paint I was carrying and using to do this first painting was rubbish. It was totally rubbish. It wasn't that thick as I wanted. As you can see, it's not that thick at all. So what I did was I used something to wipe it off the side of it a little bit, and then I continued with a different paint which was much more thicker and fresh looking. So I finished with that, and then I just let it be. The one is also drying. I'm now taking off my tape, the tapes that I used to guide, if you see what I mean. Now that I'm taking the tape off, you see that it's making the whole work coming out looking very clear and neat. Yes, this is what I wanted. So as the tape is off, you can actually see the painting I did. The lines will all like come out very neatly and nicely. And after the painting, I decided, well, the wall is still bare, like nothing is really there really. It's still, it's not that it doesn't stand out. Okay, so I decided to put some of the frames that I have Some of them are old, the little ones are old, the bigger looking ones I bought them from the pound shop, and they were white and I painted them black. I think you've seen me done this in one of the projects before. So here we are, finished. That's the real looking black, nice. And this is the whole thing that I've finished, and I love these rails. Look at that. And I also love these panels, they look so good, and the paint is just so gorgeous. Okay, and if you're looking on the stairs, you can see I put something there like a stair runner. I'll bring a story on that one. I'll show you. If you're interested, I'll bring a video up on that, how I managed to do that. That was an IKEA hack. That was actually a carpet, a little carpet for like a dining or so. I cut it into piece and then I sew it up, and I used it for my own thing. You can use if you have the brain, sometimes you can do anything you want with whatever you get. So here is the result. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next coming video. Bye.